Welcome to another episode of Preparing for the Unexpected. I'm your host, Alex Fullick, and as always, we like to talk about things related to disaster recovery, business continuity, emergency management, crisis management, COVID-19, anything that's relatable to those subjects. In a previous video, I talked about why there was so much pushback, with change in the business continuity industry, different approaches, different ways of doing things. And I received a couple of emails and comments. They were nice, they weren't rude. I don't want to be pointing fingers at anybody or make them feel as though that their feedback was not welcome. It is. So if you have any comments here, leave a message as well, down below in the comments. I'm open to everything. However, there was a couple of times people mentioned things that just didn't quite make sense. There were some people that agreed with the fact that I had said, what works for one doesn't always work for others. And that's true for anything, whatever we do, my approach to something works for me and, my organization, that same approach, because of the organization, what they do, or their culture, or the amount of people they have, the amount of people they don't have, available resources, whatever the case may be, doesn't work for them. Well, that's fine. We're all trying to get to the same point with our disaster programs, our business continuity, crisis management, whatever, pandemic response. What works for one doesn't always work for the other. Okay, that's fine. You agree with that. I agree with that. What I don't agree with is, if that's true, why would I or anyone, why should they be criticized for doing something different then? That makes no sense. You can't tell me on one hand that, what works for you may not work for me, or what I do doesn't work for you, and agree to that, but then turn around and say, but you can only follow a single methodology. You can only do the same thing I do. You can't veer from a traditional approach. That makes no sense. It's contradictory. If it doesn't work for me, and I've already said it doesn't work for me, then I am going to look for different ways to do that. That helps me and my organization or my community do what needs to be done to help them. Because obviously the traditional approach, the way that everyone else is doing it, doesn't work for me. So how can you tell me that I should be following that approach when I've already said it doesn't work? It makes no sense. It's contradictory. You can't say both things. If you're going to tell me that one thing works for you and doesn't work for another, and that's okay, well, then I should be allowed to follow a different path, create a different path. I'm still going to get to the same place you are and have a disaster program or a business continuity program, crisis management program, pandemic response, whatever that end goal is. Doesn't mean I have to follow the same path. If you and I are going from A to B and you go this way, and I decide to go that way, what's wrong? Why can't I go a different path? Why can't I use a different methodology? You can't tell me that I have to follow one methodology, but it's okay if it doesn't work, but you still have to follow it. That makes no sense. It's contradictory. If you have any thoughts on that, leave me a message. I'd be really interested to hear what other people have to say about that. If you liked that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave a message and let me know what your thoughts are. If you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about something related to business continuity, disaster management, COVID, personal well-being, anything that's relatable to those subjects, you can reach me through my LinkedIn profile, which is in the video description. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.